these guys are.
Yeah,
Please let there be like non-Zergs. Tell me there's like not a Zerg. Yes! Draws in the semifinals. Yes, good. All right, Draw kept his promise to me. See, Draw. I was talking to Draw in the chat before this, and he was like, "Sale, if you cast one of my games, I'll win the whole qualifier." So I held him to that. I casted his game first from the round of 128.
So good of you.
Yeah. Or I guess, sorry, I should say we casted his game first.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You can take that one.
And yeah. So come on, Protoss. Protoss must win. We already got 2 Zergs yesterday. We don't need any more Zergs. Like Bakryu is now qualified, so that's 3 Zergs already. We need a non-Zerg. We invited 2 Zergs. There's too many Zergs.
That's really amazing because looking at kind of the racial balance in the qualifiers, it's by far weighted towards Protoss. So I guess the Zergs are just better than everybody else because statistically speaking, Protoss is going through.
Are you honestly saying Zergs are better than Protoss? What kind of Protoss are you, Elegant? Dude.
I'm sorry. Have I let the side down?
Dude, I'm disowning you as a Protoss. Like, on behalf of the Protoss race, we are disowning you as a Protoss.
That's alright. I'll go Lone Ranger. I'll go DT on this. That's fine. I don't mind. DT caster.
Alright. Anyway, let me update the screen. Oh man, having way too much fun with this.
I'm actually excited to see Draw play. I want to see what he can bring out in these later stages against trutaCz as well. Ooh, this is going to be exciting. trutaCz, of course, taking out Infernal earlier on the day, so we know that trutaCz is up to scratch with his ZVP. He's looking good, and hopefully Draw can give him a run for his money.
And actually, the match that we casted already from Draw was a PvZ against South Park? Yes. And in fact, South Park is another very strong Polish Zerg.
Yep.
So, yeah, cool. Anyway, let's just go into game number 1 of the second semifinal. All right, spawning at the top left as the brown Zerg, we have LRM trutaCz at the top right.
Dale, I'm not in the game.
Oh my goodness! Elegant's not in the game!
I couldn't join it. I messaged you on Skype.
Oh no! All right, Rigo. See, I told you I was disowning you, right?
Well, you were not wrong.
You think you're good enough to watch a game played by Draw, a high-level Protoss? You think you're cool enough?
It's a rare opportunity, I tell you.
Dude, you should be glad I haven't kicked you off Skype right now. I was like gonna end the Skype call. Just carry on solo. Look, guys, I'm even prepared for this. You ready? Look, I'll just replace Elegant with a picture.
Don't do it.
See? Done. He's gone. No more Elegant.
This is brutal treatment. I never expected this. Okay, I think we're good now.
Yeah, I need to remove your face from your face though. 1 second. All right, there we go.
Thank you so much. My technical pitch there. We are good to go now, guys. Sorry about that.
All right. So, game number 1 of the second semifinal. Okay, Elegant, are you in the game?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Good. So, at the top left is the brown Zerg. We have LRM trutaCz. At the top right, as the blue Protoss, we have sas.dRaW.
Awesome. I gotta say, as our first technical hit, that could have been a whole lot worse. I had such a heart attack moment right there. Then. Oh my god, it's all going wrong. I had such a terrible time of it right there. So I was distressed. But yeah, we are finally going to see Draw representing himself in the latest stage. Well, not the latest stages. The latest stages of a qualifier of a major tournament. So let's see if he has got the quality to take down a very, very high level Zerg here in the form of LRM TrueTouch, who, of course, as I've already mentioned, we saw take down Infernal earlier on in the day. Excuse me. In the round of 128. So no mean feat if Draw can actually do this. But TrueTouch will be bringing his A game. Of course, he will not be underestimating his opponent at all. And looks like Draw is making ready to do the standard forward fast expand. And TrueTouch, will we see another TLS 9 pool right here? It looks like we will. There we go. Boom.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't understand what's going on here. Is this like?
It's all about the 9 pool.
This is like a new thing. It's like all the Zerg players got together. They're like, guys, let's just all 9 pool the Protosses. Show them what's up. Oh, you dirty little Zergs. Luckily for Draw. Actually, luckily for a lot of Protoss. I feel like Protoss has been scouting correctly a lot on 4-player maps.
Yeah.
Or something. But anyway, Draw's gonna see it, so wait a minute. He's building a gateway. KC.
Okay. This is weird against the 9 pool. Against the 12 hatch, it works very, very nicely, but against the 9 pool, it's mainly defensive. Unless he makes another gateway, no, he's making a forge. Okay, this is slightly weird though. I think maybe this is slightly suboptimal, although I'm sure he's practiced it. But
okay, this is good if it's tight on the top of the gateway, which it looks like it is. And so basically this build is something that actually Jangby started doing a lot, which is instead of going forge first in your fast expand, on maps where you can make a tight wall like this, where there's only a single gap between the forge and the pylon, there's a few maps you can do it. Bloody Ridge is actually a notable 2-player map where that works. You basically, it's like a delayed forge fast expand where your nexus is later, but because you get such a fast gateway, you can punish a 12-hatcher with early zealots, as you mentioned before. And if he doesn't go 12 hatch and he gets early lings, well, that's okay because your wall is completely tight. You can just use the zealot to block the gap, and you won't die. You'll be completely fine. So it's kind of an alternate take on the Forge Fast Expand that's still quite effective. I didn't know you could actually do a wall like this on this map though, which is why I wasn't sure what was going on. But yeah, that's very interesting.
Wall. I like that wall very, very much. Draw clearly has this very, very well planned. I mean, this is absolutely something that he's practiced on his own time. And now moving that zealot round, circumventing his opposition units, and getting that zealot all the way into the main base, so he might be able to do a little bit of drone harass before it will inevitably get taken down by the superior number of Zerglings right here. But in conjunction with the drone, of course, he could be, with the probe, excuse me, he could be 2-shotting drones instead of 3-shotting them with that zealot. So let's see how he can micro this right now. The drones are being pulled off the mineral line, having to drill out quite early there. Still unable to take down any Zerglings, however, and the probe will die. So this zealot harass probably going to be fairly ineffective. And Draw actually being quite slow with his Nexus as well, so that's lost him a little bit of mining time, but nothing too serious. Zealot trying to make his presence known at the back of there as well.
Yeah, he was at like 560 or 570 minerals there before throwing down that Nexus. I mean, clearly too busy microing the Zealot. You know, that might not seem like a big deal, but you know, this is very early in the game, so these kinds of little things definitely do add up over the course of the game. Meanwhile, though, you know, the hatchery at the bottom of natural is just going up as normal, and Draw continuing to try the Zealot harassment here, but it's not really getting too far for him.
Yeah, I also feel like sending out one Zealot at a time is not always the best. I've said this in numerous casts which I've done. I'm never a fan of the one Zealot at a time approach when it gets to this point of the game. I always prefer it to be 2 or preferably 3, because otherwise they're just way too easy for the Zerg to clean up. We do have Draw sending one Zealot down to the bottom left, but once it gets there, I'm always a bit confused. What's it really supposed to do? It can maybe kill a drone, but no Zerg's going to be foolish enough to leave any drones in there at the mercy of the Zealot. So I don't really know quite what it's going to achieve, apart from maybe a decent bit of scouting information, but he could get a probe out if he really wanted. Draw looking like he's going to continue building up a fairly decent force of Zealots, so we'll see if he chooses to go into some kind of speed lot orientated mid game.
Indeed, indeed. He does like doing things like that. I think we actually saw in his game against, what's his face, South Park, he did go for those speed lots into like 2 Stargate Corsairs.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if we mentioned yet this game, but you know, we keep talking about Draw's game against South Park, but we also casted TrueTouch's game from the round of 128, where he took out Infernal in a ZVP, in an epic ZVP.
Yeah, that was fantastic stuff. It really was. Showcased both of these players at very, very high ability. There's still A little bit of Zealot harass going down in the main. Going to be able to take out another Zergling, maybe able to grab a drone kill to his name as well. But trutaCz doing a nice job of saving that drone, but it might still get caught. Okay, no, it looks like the Zealot's actually focusing the wrong one down, so it doesn't matter and won't be too much of a fight. But once again, getting a sneaky position behind those minerals. Going to be able to grab a couple more Zergling kills, and now 2 Zealots. This is what we like to see, heading down to the bottom left-hand corner. Beautiful continued harass right now by Draw.
Yeah, probably would have been slightly better if he'd hit at the same time as that initial Zealot. But I guess, you know, you can't be perfect with that. But unfortunately for him, 6 Lings just popping now from that hatchery. So so going to get basically immediately denied here. These 8 Lings should be enough to take down these Zealots, especially with speed. It's going to be much easier to micro them as well. So I don't think he's going to do too much here. It looks like, yep, focusing down that one Zealot. Ooh, Draw doing good Zealot micro though. And looks like he might actually be able to take this. No, not quite. Good micro though, good attempt. So far, you know, Draw's continued harassment, not doing too much. The one thing it is doing though is at least it's forcing trutaCz to continue to make Zerglings instead of drones. So kind of messing up his plans a little bit. But it looks like actually Spire just now finishing, you know, 4th and 5th hatches on the way. It's actually not messing trutaCz up that much here.
No, I think this is something trutaCz will have seen quite a lot before. I think it would have needed to go a little bit better for Draw to really screw his opponent up. But at the very least, I think he's definitely broken even on this. So definitely nothing lost. And of course, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So it's good to try this kind of play just to throw your opponent a little bit off balance, if nothing else. And the first Corsair now scouting around, going to sniff out an Overlord in the bottom left-hand corner if it's lucky. But there are, of course, a couple of Scourge over on the way, so he needs to take good care of that and keep it alive to get that information. And he's building up a decent force of Zealots in his natural as well. So I'd imagine that Draw is going to be making ready to do a speed Zealot push quite soon, but his Zealot leg speed is still a fair way away yet.
Yeah, the +1 is also not quite there yet. But yeah, so I think we're just going to see a bit of a lull in the action here. Looks like the Scourge poking around, seeing what's in the Protoss main. Not going to see anything out of the ordinary there with the Stargate and the Citadel. Bit of a SimCity here. The SimCity at Zerg's Natural is actually not nearly as cool as the one of the Protoss Natural. But that's alright. These silly Zergs don't know how to wall. They don't know the pain of the Protoss wall. You see, I mean, look, if you mess up a wall as a Protoss, like the Zergling runs 6 Lings in, or sorry, the Zerg runs 6 Lings in, and then you're dead. And then you mess up a Zerg wall, it's like, well, that's not really a big deal. I mean, we don't have speedlings. We can't win in like 3 minutes into the game. It's not fair, man.
It's brutally unfair, but then again, life isn't fair. And neither is the death of the Protoss. Protoss should always win. That is my stance.
There you go. There you go. Now you're getting it.
Can I come in from the cold now, so it's chilly out here in BT world.
Alright, looks like probe traps behind the minerals. That is intentional. He's going to use that to stack his Corsairs. Of course, in order to clump your air units, you need to have them grouped with a far away unit outside of its magic box radius. Yep. So that's what that's for. Although he still only has 1 Corsair that I can see. There should be another one on the map somewhere, but I can't find it.
Should be, but meanwhile we do have a little bit of speed that action goes to the bottom left hand corner, but trutaCz doing a beautiful emergency SimCity right there, doing a nice block with a couple of evolution chambers. Nonetheless, he's looking so thin in terms of his economy down there. So and actually supply blocked as well somehow. So he's going to have to find something decent in order to actually be able to pump up his economy again, because this is a significant number of +1 speed zealots which he's going to have to deal with first. And I actually quite fancy Draw's chances at doing a good engagement right here if he can get the position, but trutaCz very sensibly pulling all the way back into the cover of the extra Soaking Colony and the SimCity in his natural.
Yeah, I think there just wasn't enough surface area for the Zealots there. You know, if they were in open field and the Zealots had the Hydra surrounded, I think that would have looked a lot different there, especially with the +1 now finished. But as it stands, Draw's pulling back to his natural. He's building another cannon there because you can see actually a lot of Hydras and Zerglings moving towards his natural. Actually, he's moving the Spiels to the south there. I don't know if... I thought that was intentional, but now he's moving some of them back. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think that might have just been a pathing issue or something with these Zealots going back. I think he wanted to hide them there. 1 DD though is going to do massive damage here. Is there an Overlord? 1 Overlord is coming in from the back, and actually Draw might get busted here. He's got 2 High Templar. Does he have Storm? Where's the Archives? Where's the Archives? There's the Archives. It's not doing anything. I assume he has Storm, and there's the Storm, and he missed. Oh no, he hits because the Highs just went back. But it's not enough. It is not enough. Is it enough? He needs to make more units. Make more dudes. Make more dudes. Oh, okay, it's good. Okay, it's fine. We're fine. Okay, wow, Draw just holding off there. Absolutely, by the very skin of his teeth. Just managing to fend off those Hydras, but he is not looking okay yet. He needs more cannons. He needs plenty more cannons if he's going to be able to hold off the continued
Hydrus forces, although it looks like there's only like 3 Hydrus coming in, so that's not going to be too difficult to deal with. 3 Hydrus versus 3 Zealots. I think I fancy the Zealots in that engagement. Managing to keep his Forge alive as well, so his +2 weapons will continue unhindered, even though it's only just begun. And having to kill his own pylon. A little bit of an error there.
Sorry, I just love it when like bird elves wall themselves in, because it always reminds me of Combat X. Good times, good times.
Yeah, he's having to bust himself out in order to get that Archon free, but the continued forces of trutaCz coming in for another attempt. I think dRaW will just have enough Zealots to deal with this, although maybe on the other hand he will not. I'm surprised he hasn't thrown down any more cannons. He needs more cannons to defend this. I think he's maybe getting a little bit overconfident. I think what's happened right here is he has his probe with which he's trying to make cannons trapped behind that one broken cannon, in between the cannon and the High Templar. This is absolutely disastrous for dRaW. What a mistake to potentially lose the game with. And now we'll see that, yes, exactly as I predicted, the probe goes over there and starts building cannons immediately. What a failure of a probe that is.
And the Archon can't go out to attack the Hydrus, and now it's in the back, and the Hydrus just run through the wall.
dRaW is in complete disarray right now. So many peculiar mistakes being forced by this continued aggressive play of trutaCz, and I think dRaW is going to be just about able to hold with the DT, but oh my god, has this been dicey for him. But that DT is probably going to be the difference right now between him and certain death.
Oh god, this game is so good, man. I mean, I love dRaW, and I kind of want him to win so we have a Protoss in the finals, but man, this is just too good. I mean, you know, if I have to watch a Protoss lose, I would like to watch them lose in this fashion, just the most hilarious way possible. I mean, just everything that can go wrong for dRaW is going wrong right now. You know, if his Archon wasn't walled in, if the probe wasn't stuck, if any of those things hadn't happened, just one thing hadn't gone as badly as it did, he would have been in a lot better shape right now. But just because everything got messed up, he's just like scrambling not to die right now. Fortunately for him, it looks like Lurker Tech has only just started, so he doesn't have to worry about dealing with Lurkers anytime soon.
He's actually killing his own Zealot. dRaW, wake the hell up, man.
Oh god, dRaW. I think dRaW did actually say in the thread before the tournament started that he was like, didn't get many hours of sleep or something.
Oh,
he was like, oh man,
what a classic
I'm really
dRaW
tired.
excuse. I'm not buying any of that kind of crap. He just needs to man up and play well. He's not doing badly, but there's just weird little mistakes all over the place. He is going to hold on for the time being, but there's yet more Hydrus coming in from trutaCz. dRaW needs more cannons. He's got one more cannon coming in, but of course, does he have another Forge anywhere?
Oh my god, he doesn't have another Forge.
My god, he
has to wait for that Forge finish.
Okay, but he does have a DT with which he's going to be able to fend off the Hydrus. 4 now, but only 4 now. It looks like he's going to lose that High Templar, but not before he gets his storm off, fortunately for him. But his one cannon, which is actually able to defend the front, goes down. Please do not use that final storm unwisely. dRaW, he
storm
that final storm off. Well, he does get a decent storm off. trutaCz is able to dodge fairly handily right there. I think he needs to morph an Archon. He needs all the units he can get right here. The second Forge is now finished, but he's not making any more cannons once again. What is happening here? dRaW, more trap probes. I don't quite know what he's doing.
Oh my god, there's a Zealot drop in the main! There is a 4 Zealot drop in the main. While this is going on, dRaW is actually counter-attacking here. Oh man, he's actually really putting the hurt on with these +1 Zealots here, taking down these Hydras. More Hydras coming in though, so that drop will get defended. And I don't know where the shuttle went. Did it die? Oh, whoa! Looks like crazy storms going on the front as well. A massive overload. I don't know what they're doing there. But it looks like finally dRaW has stabilized. There's no more units incoming from trutaCz. And trutaCz actually at 68 supply against dRaw's 105. I mean, dRaW, having held that off, is actually not in terrible shape right now. He's got 1 billion probes though. He's getting very close to mined out. He needs desperately to establish a 3rd base.
Yeah, he does, but you're right, he's not in terrible shape. I think that was an accidental storm at the front right there. It looked very, very odd. I saw it actually go off. But yeah, dRaW badly needs a 3rd, and this is the point at which for Protoss, if you don't start getting your 3rd now, it can get very, very difficult as the game wears on.
Especially because the Zerg is now taking his 4th at the bottom left main right there. But nope, there goes the Nexus just as we were talking about it. dRaW, of course, knows that he needs the Nexus as well. Is this a drop? No, there's 2 overloads going towards that 3rd, but it's not a drop. Maybe just a scout and see what's up. And so he is going to see the 3rd, going to try and run away, but going to get taken down by those Corsairs. There are actually 6 Corsairs here, but they don't actually have +1 attack, which is somewhat curious. But I mean, it's not 100% necessary to get that. Meanwhile, dRaW kind of keeping his army here at his start to defend it. trutaCz sending in a few units here. dRaw's got to be careful not to leave this wide ramp too exposed, because actually trutaCz could just attack his natural instead of the 3rd, and his army would be a little bit out of position.
Yeah, and the +1 Corsair thing is a little bit of an interesting note, because you'd have thought at this point of the game 100-100 wouldn't be that much of an investment to make your units that much more effective, but I suppose he just hasn't really considered it as of yet, and fair enough, he's had more than enough else to think about as a Sconner. He does have a couple of cannons made up his third base now, so he should be able to hold on to that fairly easily, but now he's got a lurker container to deal with. The lurker container isn't too serious as of yet. I feel like he could probably actually break out of it if he made a concerted effort at this point, but not looking too keen to do so.
Yeah, the problem I think is that he doesn't really have many Dragoons. And that's really what you need to bust this kind of contain. I mean, you know, even though his army looks scary right now, it's primarily Zealots and a few High Templar. And it's not really the composition you need to deal with this. Oh man, losing a few High Templar. Oh man, the High Templar are actually getting sniped! Good micro move there by trutaCz to snipe those expensive units. The Zerglings and the Hydras, very cheap throwaway units, so absolutely worth it to do that. And he's actually moving the Lurkers up right now. He's just slowly but surely putting the pressure on. But it looks like Draw, is he going to commit? I don't think he should. I don't know if he should. No, it looks like he is going to commit here. And actually, it might be enough here. Not enough supporting units for the Lurkers. Only a single Lurker remaining in the back. So now the Zealots are going to be super effective against the Hydras and Lings. And Draw is going to break out of this semi-contain here at the front. But the problem is the fourth is established for the Zerg, although the third is established for him. So actually, I think this game is still quite close here. 121 supply for Draw against a 93 supply of trutaCz, but of course Protoss generally should be about 20 maybe 30 supply ahead of the Zerg at this point anyway to be for this game to be even. So I think this is actually very close. And oh my god, getting two Archons sniped right there. His army's in retreat. He doesn't have any more storms. So the Zealots and Dragoons are actually not particularly cost efficient against the Hydras.
Yeah, I think getting those High Templar snipes a bit earlier on was really quite important in terms of that engagement, but he does have a couple more High Templar right now, and he's going to be fighting from the high ground. This could be a brilliant engagement if trutaCz decides to continue. It could be great for Draw. And another great storm going down. Draw's engagement is actually quite exceptional at times in this game. He's doing a really great job. He's holding the high ground, but there's more Zerglings coming in for trutaCz, of course, completely unaffected by the high ground. I think Draw will just be able to hold, however, and trutaCz's army is once again going to go down. Draw's going to go down and do some harassment at the bottom left, but it's only Corsairs, so nothing too serious, and he has lost the majority of his Corsair fleet. But trutaCz still manages to maintain the majority of the map control, and I would think that Draw's going to need to start, to do some DT harassment or some kind of Zealot shuttle harassment, as he has already been doing.
Indeed, and there is actually a probe, though, that has managed to sneak down to the bottom right natural. I think it passed a couple of Overlords, but trutaCz isn't sending any Lings down there or anything to stop it. So if Draw can actually set up a base down there, like a somewhat hidden base, that would be really nice for him, because if he can set up a base here at this natural, he basically gets the main sort of for free. Not entirely for free, because of course there is still the threat of drops and things like that, but still relatively easy to defend that. So yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. And if you just look at the minimap, trutaCz's vision is actually really not bad. He's got Overlords spread out all over the place. I'm very surprised that he didn't see that. I guess he was too busy microing his Hydralisk force at the front. I mean, he's even sent an Overlord to the bottom right main. Oh, I think he's going to go see it now. Yep, he is going to see it before this finishes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's too much you can do about it. There are a couple of cannons warping in. I don't know if those Lings going down there are going to be in time, although he should be able to deal with 2 photon cannons anyway. But it's the army coming through the middle he really needs to be worrying about. Even though it's only a small strike force, if he splits his army, then he could end up with an unfavorable engagement. I'm talking about trutaCz here, of course.
Oh my god,
but oh my... No! Managing to snipe off 2 High Templar. Decent storming from Draw at the last second, but still by far not as favorable as it could have been. And now trutaCz is going to be able to go down and take out those 2 cannons with the greatest of ease.
Man, see, that's a big problem when you move out with a kind of a medium-sized force in a PvZ and you're not sure if you can actually take a head-on engagement. When you retreat, the High Templar move slower than all the other units, so they're going to be the ones lagging behind, and they're the ones that you don't want to get slumped like that, but they're just inevitably going to be stuck at the back. So so you really got to choose, your move-out timings very carefully there, because as we've seen so far, it's just cost Draw a lot of those expensive gas units. So right now he's just got, a couple of High Templar. Okay, looks like a couple more High Templar bringing up the back, but he could have had a lot more at this point. It looks like, we might have a big engagement here. I think the Protoss will be able to take this. Not the best storms though, wasting those storms a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a lot better, but it does do the job, and he is able to take the engagement quite convincingly, losing relatively little. I'm not sure if he lost really anything. He lost a lot of health off a lot of his Zealots, and now he's going to need it because there's another big force coming in back from trutaCz. I don't think Draw should engage full on here. He should just pick off units and then retreat back. He does not have the units to take this, or maybe he does. He might just be able to power through, but he needs reinforcements. Where are his reinforcements? He doesn't have anything more coming in from his natural as of yet, and a nice observer snipe from trutaCz means that he's now going to be completely in the dark. There are no observers left in there, so the Lurkers are going to be completely invincible for the time being, and now Draw will be forced to pull back, having been able to deal no real economic damage to his opponent. Meanwhile, we do have Hive Tech coming in for trutaCz already. We have Defiler Mound done. I would imagine we have Consume done as well, since I don't see it researching right there, unless the Defiler Mound's only just finished. And it's about to get pretty scary, although with trutaCz still only on 4 bases, it's by no means over yet for Draw. He still has a decent foothold in this game if he can get a 4th base running.
See, the problem is that trading armies like that is absolutely good for Zerg. The Zerg can reproduce so much easier, so much faster than the Protoss. The Protoss army is much more expensive. It's got a lot of those gas-heavy, expensive units. So every time they trade like that, even though it looks like it's an even exchange is good for Zerg. That's exactly what they want. If they can just keep trading armies all day against the Protoss, they will happily take that all the way into Hive Tech and then just kill you with mass Ultralisks. And another big problem right now, as you said, is Draw needs a 4th because his main and natural are gone. I think they probably ran out a couple of minutes ago, in fact. So he's mining off just the 12 o'clock, and that's also down to about half the starting value of minerals there. So yeah, he's looking a little bit desperate for resources right now. Although on the other hand, I guess trutaCz has also mined out his main and his natural now. But he's got a small group of units here at the 6 o'clock. Presumably he's going to try and establish that fairly quickly here. Yeah, but I do think Draw is going to get much hungrier, much quicker. Certainly at the rate this game is going, Draw has not been quite as cost efficient as he might have once been with his armies in the middle of the map, and that's going to also come back and haunt him once the Hive Tech really starts to happen, and Draw hasn't got those that high concentration of gas units which he could have saved throughout the mid game. He's lost a lot of Archons and a lot of Fire Templar as this match has gone on, which he would have done well to save. And his attempt at the new base in the bottom right hand corner gets thwarted as well. So he's going to have to really commit to defending a base or to killing his opponent at this point. I don't think he can do both at the same time. Why are these 2 High Templar walking down with no support? Okay, there's a DT there. That's very dangerous. Those could easily be sniped by like 6 Zerglings there. But anyway, it looks like a giant Protoss army is moving out across the map here. This could be just one huge push to try and do major damage to the Zerg, since he's having a very difficult time establishing a 4th here. I think I do actually somewhat remember some high-level Protoss talking about this map and saying how, yeah, it is quite hard to get a 4th base because it's so far away from everything. But well, it looks like Draw is attempting that right now. A couple of Hydras running in here, and see, like 1 DT and 2 High Templar. That's pretty random force, although I guess there's only like 2 Hydras here, so the DT is going to make short work of them. Did it? Oh, he baited out a storm with empty Overlords. Draw assumed there'd be a drop there or something. I don't know if that was intentional by trutaCz. Presumably it was. That's quite cute. It looks like Draw might actually manage to get this base up though. He's diverting his main force over there just as the Lings come in to deal the final blow. And Draw has so many units on the map. My god, that's a big army. And it's a nice army too. Plenty of Dragoons, high concentration right there. With its upgrades still ticking over nicely, so he's still getting stronger and stronger as it goes on. He's going to be able to easily clean up this strike force right here. And he's going to be able to continue his push as well with a 4th base going up behind him. Beautiful play by Draw. Very well positioned. Indeed. Meanwhile, though, trutaCz is saying, well, if you're going to expand, I'm going to expand as well. He's taking the 9 o'clock. He's actually gotten quite supply block here, 131 of 112, after losing a few Overlords there to his army. And actually, this giant Protoss army is just rolling through everything right now. What does the Zerg have? There's all the lurkers he needs, but he's kind of moving up to the north. Looks like trutaCz is deciding to play a bit more of a defensive game here and not try and engage this army in the open. Even though I think that might be where he wants to engage it, though, maybe get a good surround with the Zerglings and stuff. That's really the engagement he wants. He doesn't want to face it head on. But anyway, there's a probe transfer. This base looks like it is well established now. It's got 2 High Templars, it's got all the cannons it needs, a nice group of Zealots there as well to defend. I don't think that's actually necessary. You should probably bring these with his main force. Just a handful of cannons and a couple of High Templar can defend against quite a bit in this matchup. So maybe slightly wasteful there, but I mean, he's got 163 supply against the 128 of the Zerg, but it looks like trutaCz has positioned his army to come in from behind here, going to sandwich the Protoss army between his main force and this defended natural, although it's not very well defended actually. And oh, some Zerglings running in here, and it looks like Elegant is dropping. No, there we go. I'm still here. I'm back. I don't know what happened there. My Brew War freaked out for a second, but we have a massive engagement coming in right now from trutaCz with a huge storms going down on the clump of lurkers right now. Draw is going to be able to take this engagement easily. This is going to be an absolute landslide for him. Wow, so much Zerg blood on the ground, and I think trutaCz is going to be in so much trouble after this engagement. What battling right there by Draw, just holding out for the right engagement position, and trutaCz just had to go for it and try and save his bottom left-hand corner base, but I don't think there's anything he can do now. That is a massive army coming in right now from Draw, and he got that 4th base just in the nick of time as well, so he can definitely afford to be aggressive with his army. In the meantime, will he be able to land some decent storms right now? That could really seal the deal.
if he can hold that high ground, he is going to be looking absolutely golden. trutaCz is throwing absolutely everything he has left at him, a couple of lurkers and a whole lot of Zerglings coming from the back. I don't think it's going to be enough though against storms like that. Draw is continuing to micro this very, very effectively, although he has lost the majority of his zealots, so his army is not the strength it could be, but nonetheless his dragoons are still surviving, and they are going to be scary. If he can get another observer in, then it is going to be lights out for that natural expansion for trutaCz at the very least.
Oh man, and there's no Overlord there either, so the DT's doing maximum damage, and the supply of trutaCz has plummeted. He's down to 78 supply against the 157 supply of Draw. Draw, who is looking in a tiny bit of trouble there when he couldn't establish his fourth, is suddenly, just with this giant hammer of an army, just wielded it and smashed aside the Zerg defenses here, and he's now got DTs in the drone line. The drones are fighting against the DTs. That's not a fight they really want to pick here. I mean, trutaCz isn't even sending his forces in together. He's just sending in random strings of Zerglings. That is not the way to defeat a Protoss army, and GG from trutaCz.
Wow.
Oh my god, that's what I'm talking about, Draw. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Wow. Yes, kill the Zergs. Filthy creature things.
That is seriously impressive stuff from Draw. Why does he dodge so much? That was damn good. We saw trutaCz playing very, very well there, but I'm surprised we didn't see Defiler tech come in. He had a Defiler mount for a long time, and I'm trying to figure out he didn't really put out any Defilers onto the map.
That is an excellent point. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, because I mean, he was kind of playing. I don't know. I mean, he was kind of active on the map, but you know, going Lurker Ling and having Defiler Man. I mean, Lurker Ling Defiler Man. That's scary as Protoss. That is seriously scary.
Especially without Dragoons.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know the Dragoons deal with the Lurkers, but then they can't because there's Dark Swarm. So your melee units, the Zealots, they just get eaten alive by Lurkers. So curious.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Can't. Maybe he just didn't have the resource. I can't imagine in that case though. He did have 4 bases right until the very end. So. Yeah, slightly peculiar, but nonetheless, great fight from those guys in Draw, showing actually that he can back up his big talk there with more games like that.